the competitiveness versus spirituality of success. The information in this podcast, or the content actually, is from my book, Advanced Success Secrets. You can get a free copy of each of my 8 bestsellers at alexhammerbooks.com. That's AlexHammerbooks.com. I'm continually amazed with how competitive life is. It is brutally competitive, and the higher in life one goes, the more competitive it is. In fact, success is based on competition to an extraordinary degree. In my book, The Laws and Secrets of Success, there's a chapter entitled The Strength of the Ant. Basically, it discusses how ants can do phenomenally impressive things. For example, carry many times their body weight over distance. But that because other ants can do the same things, while it is phenomenally impressive, it is not unique. It is the same principle with humans. We can do incredibly impressive things and do, but lest we become overconfident in our own abilities, we really need to look around and see what others are capable of as well. Today I was watching the 2014 Winter Olympics. I was a very good athlete in college, but these Olympians are doing feats I am scared and intimidated even watching. The problem is, as detailed, ego bias. We're well aware of what we can do, but in order to feel more secure in an insecure world, and a lot of this insecurity is based upon this competitiveness factor, we have to downplay or ignore the abilities of others. Why is that? Anxiety. The more we are aware of the capabilities of others, the more frightening from a competitive standpoint that could be. Too much anxiety and we wouldn't function or function well. So we need to tamp it down. So we overestimate our abilities and underestimate others. It may not be accurate, but the world feels a whole lot safer that way. This is a double-edged sword. Successful people look at the world more objectively. They are better able to manage competitive pressures and other fears and sources of anxiety. It is only by recognizing problems, obviously, that we can hope to effectively deal with them. If we have too much fear or anxiety to be able to do this substantially, and hence believe instead what we tell ourselves to feel better, we'll feel better, but we'll perform worse. This is where the idea of comfort zone comes in. We feel comfortable within a certain zone where outcomes are more predictable and known, but we manage to shrink our level of participation in the world in order to keep that comfort. No pain, no gain reminds us of another related truth, that nothing worthwhile in life comes easily. So learning to successfully manage our fears and or act competently in the face of fear is a major component of success. While the successful are more realistic, they are more unrealistic as well. I'll explain. At our core, we have to be realistic. This includes true humility, felt in the heart, not just the mind, persistence, etc. All of those qualities that allow us, when utilized well, to thrive in a competitive environment. At a more surface level, to be successful, we have to be unrealistic. I've mentioned that optimistic people are shown in studies to be significantly less realistic than pessimistic people by objective measures. However, optimistic people, while being less realistic, are also more successful. How is that possible? As mentioned, it is optimism that allows us to persist. If we consciously realized all the things that can go wrong and will go wrong, and how much pain and disappointment that might bring, we might well be afraid to ever get started. Optimism is really kind of like a con job, but it can be a self-fulfilling one. Things are never really as rosy or easy as an optimist might think, but the optimist, in believing that things will turn around, or eventually turn around and go in one's favor and direction, gotta love those silver linings, persists until eventually, if one is optimistic and persistent enough, things do tend to eventually go one's way. If you can hang in there long enough without giving up, or be able to continually make adjustments so that you can overcome obstacles. In regard to competition, animals kill each other physically for food, but humans kill each other psychologically. They take advantage of each other in relationships, in jobs, in the courts, and in a million other ways. The reason that birds of a feather flock together, quote unquote, in significant part, is because life is largely a power struggle or competition, if you like to think of it as such. And if you hung around with those much stronger than you, they would figuratively, quote, eat you for lunch, unquote. And if you hung around with those much weaker than you, there would be a lot less resources to gain, bargain, or negotiate for. So, for example, in marriages, people often match up on attractiveness or money, or trade attractiveness or other highly desirable traits for money. Life is constantly negotiation because life is constantly competitive. That is why rejection can hurt so badly. We need others to survive, physically, but also psychologically as well. We are social creatures, and when we are outcast or lose the love and the assistance and resources that go with it, physical and psychological, it feels like a death because we think we may die.